I'm Gary C. Johnson. You've seen these billboards and ads that say size matters. I agree. The size that matters is the size of the results the law firm gets for their clients. We have several multi-million-dollar verdicts here in Kentucky. In fact, our firm owns the record for the single largest personal injury verdict in the state of Kentucky. That's the size that matters to you. In Kentucky, give our firm the call.
If you're hurt, injured, don't waste time. Gary Johnson drives for every dime.
Welcome to Simply the Law of Life, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Simply the Law of Life provides free legal advice and encourages happiness and quality of life. Now, here's Simply the Law of Life with Gary C. Johnson and Keith Casebolt.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into the radio program, Simply the Law of Life. I'm Keith Casebolt, my dear friend across from me, Gary C. Johnson. Hello, friend.
Hello, my friend. Isn't it wonderful to be alive?
And
to be here.
I thought about you over the weekend when the devastating news came out about the tornadoes in western Kentucky. And I thought about how you start this program every week of saying, isn't it good to be here? Isn't it good to be alive?
Because you never know.
No.
You have to live for today because you may not have a tomorrow.
And you know, I thought about all of those people who went to work, who were going through their routine day, who were trying to earn a little extra money for Christmas, and out of nowhere comes this devastating tornado that simply turned their lives upside down. And I kept thinking about what you've preached on this program about the reverence for life and the respect for what you have today, because it could be taken away.
And my friends, I think, that listen to this program have got it. They understand that. They truly, right, my friends? You have a reverence for life. You're where you are right now, because you always have to be somewhere.
That's right.
And you're absolutely 100% where you are and not somewhere else.
Gary, it's hard to take this gift for granted. The older that we get and the more that I understand how precious that it is, I mean, it really, to me now, it's become to the point, it's insanity not to enjoy and embrace and hold and touch this gift that we have.
A fellow told me just this morning, he said, I have concluded that most people are miserable.
And that's sad.
And I looked at him and I said, if that's true, it's one of the greatest tragedies of our time, because there's no basis for it.
We talk about lost fortunes. You've lost a fortune.
You lost everything if you're miserable.
If you've lived this life and you've become miserable.
And if you've let yourself get to that point, my friends, to where you're miserable, please, please change something. If nothing else, change your attitude. If that's all you can change it.
Yeah, I'm thinking for any individual that has that situation, could this weekend not be a wake-up, some kind of a call to action to say, look what happened to some very good people. Bad things happen to good people. And maybe the things that's going on in your life are not that bad.
Most of the time, we get through life without any major catastrophes. That doesn't mean we don't have setbacks.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we don't have bad things happen. But they're not anything we can't overcome.
So
that's life.
Yeah. So if we all inspect our bodies, we've got scars. Whether we fell and we skinned our knee, or we had a surgery, or we had a cut or something, but scars heal and you move on.
And then some of our friends may be fighting cancer, but at least you're able to fight. I guess the point I'm trying to make is what time we have, use it to be happy. Use it to have a reverence for life. Mm-hmm. Use it to have a little fun.
You know, I spoke with an individual over the weekend that had a relative that was battling cancer, and I asked, how is this individual doing? And he said, you would never know they had it. He's going to work, going to church, being with friends, family, And again, I thought back to your program. This person gets it.
What time they've got,
Whatever,
use it.
Whatever time it is, let's don't waste it because it's that important.
I want to do a shout out to some of our friends that are listening.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
the guys up at PB Dirt Moving. Okay,
Uh-huh.
we got old Lonnie,
Yeah.
Two Daddy, and Flash,
I like the names.
and Jamie Blackburn. Thank you guys so much for listening. Angie told me about you, so I'm shouting out to you and say I hope this is some benefit to you, and I hope you guys have learned to be where you are, and obviously, since you're having such a good time moving dirt, you've learned to be there.
Amen to that. You know, sometimes Gary and I will sit here in the studio and he'll look at me and say, is it just you and me talking to each other? Is anyone listening? And then whenever we run into a friend in the grocery store or the gas station or at the Christmas tree lot and somebody says, hey, man, thank you, or I was listening and I was going through some of that, it really makes you feel like you're doing some good.
And the other thing, guys, I want to say to you is thank you for working. Thank you for doing the things that makes our society what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying your taxes. You're being good citizens. Thank you. Because you need to have a little appreciation.
We, Gary, if ever there's a time to show appreciation for those working, it's now because, you know, there's a shortage of products and there's a shortage of staff and people want to get a little irritated because they're having to stand in a line for a little while. Well, you know, it's you on the other side of the counter. You're not back there doing that job.
Well, my friends enjoy standing in line because they're there.
You get to talk.
Get to hang out. They got to be somewhere.
You know, I met a young man at the Bob Evans at breakfast, and I kept telling my wife, watch this young man. He could not help but smile when he would come to your table to wait on you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was infectious. Before I knew it, I was smiling. And this young man was so upbeat. It was genuine. There was nothing fake about it.
Mm-hmm.
He was happy to be where he was at. He enjoyed his customers. And there was like a light beam around him. This kid gets it.
You know, I told you folks that you need to say thank you for people that are waiting on you and working, right?
Absolutely.
I'm going to throw something out to you, those of you that can afford it, okay? When you go through the drive-through between now and Christmas, give the people a tip.
There's a good challenge.
Drive-through.
At the drive-through.
At the drive-through.
Well, and most of the indoor seating has been closed down, so the drive-throughs are even busier now.
It occurred to me the other day to say that on a radio show as I was giving them a tip. Because I was so glad they were there to get me my Egg McMuffin.
Oh, absolutely. So that's the challenge, and it's okay to say, hey, Gary.
If you can afford it. Now, if you can't afford it, you know, don't put yourself in a bind, but those of you that can.
If you can't afford it, there's one thing you can't afford to do. You can smile and say, thank you for being here.
That's exactly right. That's the least you can do. But it's Christmas time. It's the time of giving. And I noticed somebody in the line bought someone's food for them behind them.
Oh, we talked about that last week.
I saw that happen. Then I said to myself, now, do I buy the food for the person behind me, or do I give the tip to the one that's waiting on us all? So I made a decision, instead of buying the food for the person behind me, to give that money I would have spent to the person that was waiting on me.
So you still paid it forward.
Right.
Yeah. You know, this time of year, we talked last year about, unfortunately, the month of December is a month of depression, but it should be just the opposite.
It's right. It's a wonderful time.
It should be the time of year that we give more, we smile more, we say thank you more, that we become the people that we've always wanted and think we should be, happy and giving.
I think we ought to read a little bit more from that book, The Three Questions. There was some stuff we didn't get to last week. Have you got it there in front of you, Keith?
Yeah, I do, and I got to tell you something. They need to rename this book, because the Three Questions has turned into about 30 questions. For
No,
me.
about 50.
Because the more I read a question, the more I get deeper into it, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, this book is really, it's called How to Discover and Master the Power That Lies Within You. And you, my friend, have challenged everybody out there saying you have infinite power inside of you.
They do. Every one of them.
You would be surprised. So, let's see what the book has to say. Peace. True peace means freedom from disturbance, and that's on a global scale. It means there's no war between nations. It means different cultures get along, their traditions are respected, and their beliefs are even tolerated. Boy, that's big. Peace means that one government doesn't seek to overthrow or impose its principles on another. Peace means the same thing to you and to me and to everyone. It means at the end to the chaos in our minds. It means we've ended our war over ideas, a war that causes us confusion and unrest. We don't want to impose our principles on anyone else or to disrespect other people's beliefs and traditions. The peace we create in our time, in our universe, has a lasting influence, and it ensures our own sense of well-being, and it affects the safety and well-being of the world that's around us. Let's talk about that. Interesting analogy that when we think of peace, all is right with the world. We're not trying to overthrow another government. There's no war going on. We tolerate each other's religion and beliefs and everything else. And this guy said, you've got the same war going on inside of that little brain.
It's those thoughts. It's absolutely those thoughts.
So we're at war on a daily basis instead of having peace within.
And it's generally reliving things in our past that we can't change. That's the biggest impediment, I think, to peace. Mm-hmm. Is you keep reliving it in your mind as though it's going to change.
That there's going to be a different outcome.
The what if I'd done this, what if.
But then we impose that will, too. You and I both just got a cup of coffee. You had cream with yours. I didn't. So I say, Gary, why'd you put cream in there? And you're looking at me going, Keith, why didn't you add cream? We want to impose our will on other people. When you like your coffee with cream, I take mine black.
Oh, we do that with unsolicited advice.
I think that's the funniest thing that we've ever discovered on this show is unsolicited advice. All right, back to what the Three Questions has to say. You may be dissatisfied with your life. I hope not. Or you may be frustrated with the things that are going on around you right now. You may feel that as you have no control over anything. You have no control over your friends, your children, or reality. Maybe you wonder what makes other people do what they do. Maybe you've realized that you don't know everything, and you can't possibly know everything. Here's an important part. I don't know can be a game changer for you. When you give up having to know or needing to be right, you feel lighter right away. You surrender all of your stories. The mind is not the boss of anything, and it doesn't want to be. Let life take over from here. Okay, let's talk about this. Mm-hmm. There is an inherent, some kind of need to know things. If you ask anybody anything, they try to explain it to you because there is a fear that we have of looking back and saying, Gary, I don't know. Why is that? We don't want to be dumb or we don't want to be uneducated to the process?
We know little of, if anything.
I'm learning that.
All of us. Okay?
Yes.
Even my friends that are listening, we know very little. As Mark Twain said, the things that cause me my most problems in life are the things I know with certainty.
Because they turn out to be wrong.
To be wrong.
That's exactly right. Yeah. But we have a fear when we're asked something. We try to give an answer, or we do our best. Maybe we even try to bluff our way through it to make you think that we know.
Yeah, we can always say, they say.
Oh, well, they tell me this is how it is. And then if it's wrong, it's their fault, not mine. But what's wrong with saying, I don't know? And it's okay that I don't know.
The craving to be important. You want to be important.
Look at me. I've got
Whether you like it or not.
I've got all the answers.
I've got the answers. I know.
I'm the go-to guy.
Yep.
Yep.
If you've got a problem, I'm the one that can fix it.
Yeah, boy.
And
then people will come to you because
you know.
You're the one that can solve everything.
And you then become important.
Doggone it. You've actually answered the question. It's the craving to be important. If we're asked something, we want to be able to give the answer for fear that they won't come to us anymore.
It's worse than that. We will give an answer.
No matter how.
That's the problem.
So now we're needed.
Mm-hmm. Now we're important. Now we're relevant. Right.
Oh, my goodness. Let's keep going on and see what the author has to say. Life is energy, truth, intent. No image you have of yourself can match the real energy and power of your words. Words, no matter how sincerely spoken, can't express the truth. You are energy living inside a human being. You are truth wrapped in a fanciful story. At its core, this is the story of an awakening mind. Like most of us, you can only see yourself one way until you use the power of attention to see much more. You believe one reflection until you learn to see yourself in everything. Trust completely in the truth, and you will feel all your lies fade away. Most of us trust nature. We feel comfortable in nature, even in a city park. We enjoy the company of animals, the serenity of trees. This might seem strange considering that nature can harm us. Nature can turn violent. It can travel a forest, or ravage a forest, or bring down a mountain. Animals soil our carpets and bite our relatives. They are both unpredictable and in many ways unreliable. So what's so comforting about that? What is there to trust? What we trust is authenticity. Animals and trees don't hide behind a story. So we're okay with saying, that's a dog.
Yeah.
Dogs bite. That's what dogs do. But yet we hide behind a story when it comes to people. We don't want to say people make mistakes, people do dumb things, and people don't know the answers.
It's worse than that. We don't want to say we do.
Oh.
We're glad to say people do.
You're right. We can admit it when it's other people. We just can't admit it to ourselves.
And he's trying to say, okay, rid yourself of your lies that you tell yourself.
Yeah.
And be authentic. Then you will become trustworthy.
So that's a self-check to say, I'm a human being, and here's what human beings do?
And you start by saying, I don't know. I'd like to learn more. I don't know.
Has there been many times in all of our lives that we've done or said something or had an action, and people have asked us, why did you do that? And we go, I have no idea. I just did it.
You know, I've hired a lot of young lawyers over the years, and a lot of them have gone on to do extremely well, and I'm proud of them. But the first thing I tell one when I hire them is this. I say, well, you think you know a lot of law. You passed the bar and all that. And people will come to you for advice. The first question you ask yourself, what should the law be in this situation? And if it's not law, if it's not workers' comp and some legislature type law,
Mm-hmm.
when you ask that question, what should it be? It will always be that. And you can go ahead and give that advice even though you don't know.
So it's kind of like the common sense law.
The law, all the common law that's been laid down over the years by judges and things of that nature, it's always exactly what it ought to be. I've never seen it fail. It's good common sense. It's justice.
Which is why the system works.
But now it's a different story when you come to workers' comp.
That's a whole nother story.
That's the shrimp eaters did those laws.
Yeah. I've often said I've never seen you get upset, but when it comes to workers' comp, you could get a little fiery over that.
Well, it's not good for the working man, let's say it that way.
Yeah. All right, now that we're trying to see ourselves as we really are, the book says we're reluctant to see ourselves as part of nature. Instead, we like to see ourselves as nature's rivals. We see ourselves as tourists within a natural landscape. As tourists, we wonder and we marvel. We admire the intelligence of trees and the sensitivity of raindrops. We feel that the sea and the sky know something that we don't, and that nature has a secret power we lack. There is only one life and its countless points of view. Life to truth to think that we are separate from it. It's self-defeating to deny life's power and magic that is in ourselves. Whether we're listening to it or not, our internal chatter adds to the stress our bodies are feeling. It affects our moods, it alters the way we deal with other people, and it makes us struggle just to get through the day. So much is going on in our minds that we can hardly make decisions or have clear conversations. Unable to contain the inner story, we talk about our problems, our needs, frustrations. We voice our opinions too loudly. We pull everyone's attention toward me. There you said it. What we think we know consumes us. What other people know infects us. Our focus is on the news, on speculations, but not the truth. Our bodies get hooked on drama, which only make us hungrier for more drama, more gossip, and more conspiracies. Good heavens, this guy, did he not hit the nail on the head?
He did. He's exactly right. That's why the guy said this morning to me, most people, in my opinion, are miserable. That's exactly why they're miserable. Bottom line, inside their own brain.
So when someone comes up to you and says, don't you know everything that's going on? Aren't you worried? They're pulling you into that same thing when you're saying, I'm too busy enjoying life.
You know, COVID. So what? If you get it and it kills you, you're dead. Until you get it, so what?
If you take the shots,
you take your shot because you got to live.
You cannot hide from what's going on in the world.
That's right. It's going to be what it's going to be. The question is, my friends, are you going to be miserable or are you going to be happy?
And the thing of it is, today is all we have. Actually, this moment right now is all we have. True?
And hopefully my friends are enjoying it to the nth degree.
Well, we got a little bit more before we end this. We push ourselves for our misdeeds. We blame ourselves for our misfortunes. We carry memories everywhere we go, even if their weight is unbearable. Our eyes are on the past. Our imaginations fly to the future. This makes us impervious to the present moment. So we forget to be kind. We forget to say hello to a stranger or listen to a friend. We forget to be good to ourselves. That's the biggest thing right there ever.
Mm-hmm.
The author is right. We're too busy worrying about things in the past we can't change. We're too busy looking to the future, worrying about things that have never happened. And we're not paying attention to the person who's sitting across from the table from us that we could be smiling and having a great conversation with.
You got it. And we don't take care of ourselves.
Because of the stress.
Yeah.
Because we're too busy occupying our minds with all of these things that's robbing us of happiness.
I want to ask my friends one thing, and some of you may get mad at me over this one.
Uh-oh, good question coming.
Are there any of you that's committing suicide one bite at a time? I want you to think long and hard about that if you are. That's a bad way to do it.
Are you doing it by pressuring yourself and running your blood
Are you
pressure?
doing it because of all of the anxieties and the things in your life that you're trying to deal with? All the things in your mind that's driving you crazy, to where that is the only outlet that you have? I strongly, strongly urge you, if nothing else, to get therapy. The world needs you, or you would not have been born.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of things that you can contribute to this life. You have the infinite knowledge of the universe inside of you. I urge you, my friends, if that's happening to you, reevaluate what's happening and be good and kind to yourself. That body you have is going to have to last you the rest of your life. Take care of it.
Great point. You can't love your spouse, you can't love your children, you can't love your friends or your neighbors until first you love
can
yourself.
learn to love yourself.
I think that's a good way to end the program. How about you say hello to our friends again?
Oh,
before we
got to
leave?
talk to my buddies again. I hope you guys were with us. Our boys over at PB Dirt Moving.
Uh-huh.
Lonnie. Oh, Two Daddy.
Two Daddy. I like the nickname.
Flash.
Halo Flash.
And Jamie Blackburn. Thank you guys, and hopefully you were listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I suspect you guys are happy.
Yeah. And Gary, our prayers and thoughts go out to those who lost their lives and lost family members with the horrible tornadoes. I tell you one thing, the survivors and the people that come through this, they're going to have a reverence for life, and they're not going to let the tragedy go to waste. They're going to enjoy every moment, just what you talked about.
Amen.
You can catch Gary's television program this week, Tuesday nights on WYMT, your CBS affiliate, late night replay in Central Kentucky on your CBS affiliate, WKYT. We start you off early in the morning on Fox at 6:30 a.m. in Central Kentucky, and the weekend on Friday at 6:30 a.m. If you would like to leave a comment or speak with Gary, you can do that. Gary at GaryCJohnson.com. We've got today, and the goal is to be happy.
Amen. We're going to do it.
On behalf of Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casebolt. Thank you so much for tuning into this program. As always, Gary and I look forward to seeing you again next week, right here at this same time.
Thank you for listening to Simply the Law of Life, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Until next week, may you be safe, blessed, and happy.
If you're hurt, injured, don't waste time. Gary Johnson cries for every dime.
I'm Gary C. Johnson. You've seen these billboards and ads that say size matters. I agree. The size that matters is the size of the results the law firm gets for their clients. We have several multi-million-dollar verdicts here in Kentucky. In fact, our firm owns the record for the single largest personal injury verdict in the state of Kentucky. That's the size that matters to you. In Kentucky, give our firm the call.